In this video, I'm going to showcase to you 6 decks that I personally use to get to Infinite this season. These decks have a wide range of being very meta relevant to also being complete homebrews that you've never even seen before and I haven't even made a video of, so I'm actually kind of really excited to showcase a couple of these decks to you. Regardless, these are the ones that I used to get to Infinite, so if you're looking to make that push to the end of the season, these decks have got you covered, many of which have exceptional win rates. If you like to support the series, hit the like button. I really appreciate it and I do it every single month and it does a tremendous amount to help the channel. Let's get started with deck number 1. Now, deck number 1 was by far one of my highest win rate decks, which is Dark Wave. Dark Wave for me had about a 73% win rate. I absolutely crushed with it. It featured a lot of good cards like Nebula and obviously the Doctor Doom, which is just an overall amazing card, but also surprise factor cards like Leader, which almost no one is playing and no one expected me to play at all. It also features a very important tech card in Wave, which can be used on turn 5 to shut down any bounce-based lists or miracle-based lists with Sarah that need really explosive turn 6s. You have the reach of Darkhawk and Rockslide. The Iron Lad is an expensive component, but one that I did think added a lot to this deck, specifically when you're hitting, pretty notable targets throughout. If you hit a Darkhawk with an Iron Lad, it's a pretty damn good sell. Overall, I was using Luke Cage to counter the High Evolutionary meta, which still is really relevant now, but regardless, I did really like this deck, and as you see in this gameplay example, honestly, when it's firing on all cylinders, it feels impossible to beat. Bast, is it? Bast coming out. Got a bounce list. We're going to play this Nebula left. The Raptors make it very tricky for him to play Beast and specifically Falcon if he's doing it. Null feels like a reward for playing Galactus. I feel like Null's one of the more fairer parts of Galactus. Like, it feels unfair to some extent, but at the same time, I'm not convinced that that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? That I have a few different Jane Jaw lists that I'm working on that I think are really, really awesome, and I think it's one of those sleeper hit decks out there, for sure. I think Jane Jaw is being slept on 100%. There's no question about it. Is this Iron Lad Korg and then we just wave into Leader? We have to wave turn. I'm gonna snap here. We probably should have played Iron Lad on top of the Limbo in case they try to do something fancy with Scarlet Witch. Like, as I said, I think Null is not the problem. I can see why Null works functionally. I can also see why it annoys people. But okay, Beast. He's not going to like this. They're not going to like this wave. You have the amazing Nebula. And then honestly, it's just Wave just completely shuts down this list. Like, that Kitty Pryde's now useless. I'm surprised they decided to play their Chavez down. Was not expecting their Chavez to drop down. So we play Leader right, and it's just a win. Kitty, nice. Yeah, see. That is like the cleanest win you'll see with this deck. That's exactly how this deck works. That is a pin-perfect example of how this deck works and why it's so good. Perhaps coming as a surprise to many is the Medusa On Reveal deck that honestly was one of my best decks of this season. It performed remarkably with very few counters. I mean, literally you'd think, well, Alex, you're playing a Wong deck. Cosmo's got to beat you. Well, if you play Wong and they snap, then you just leave. You figure Cosmo's coming, you give them the 1 cube, who cares? But honestly, the amount of people that aren't running Cosmo right now is insane. Cosmo is not that prevalent in the meta, and the result is you got these On Reveal decks that absolutely just pound. And the funny thing about it is, like, if you play Medusa in the middle, right, then you follow up whatever your combo is. You can Medusa, Ironheart, Wong, Doctor Doom, or, Wong, Odin. And what ends up happening is your Ironheart's proccing on everything else that you have. Your Medusa just ramps with that Wong Odin, right? And gets huge, right? It's incredible what it can do. And any combination of Wong, White Tiger, Doctor Doom and Odin is honestly a massive threat to like anybody you're playing against. And if they don't have Cosmo, it's like likely they just walk away. Like there's nothing they can really do against a deck with a Wong setup, right? It's one of the most fearsome cards in the game. So I really did love this deck. It performed remarkably well for me, as you'll see in this gameplay highlight. A Living Tribunal is currently not a big bad. Living Tribunal is not a big bad. I think they debated about making him a big bad and then chose not to. So, Living Tribunal still should be dropping eventually. It's Jeff Gamer. You know I respect Jeff Gamers, right? You gotta respect Jeff Gamers. I love Jeff so much. I think Jeff's such a great character. Oh! Is this the expensive one? Hero variant. That's the one from the clip, right? From the movie. Wakanda. Man, what kind of draw is this? Hey, listen, I love Marvel Snap. Oh, they're gonna wish they kept that Cosmo. I absolutely love Marvel Snap. There's nowhere else I'd rather be right now. I will tell you, though, is that things feel a little rough right now because we do not have the cards we need to win. I don't think it's White Tiger here. We're not drawing Odin. We don't have Wong. We're getting Chavez next. We're going to play Doom next. It's probably... We dropped to 3 there. He kind of has to play there. I think we do this. Put power here, go wide. It's Crossbones. I respect that. I respect the Crossbones gaming. Chavez is tricky here. They can definitely beat us with Chavez. Chavez wins here. We lose there no matter what. Is it Gamora mid? It's hard to tell what their deck is. Gamora mid might give us the best chance. They have to compete mid, right? Bruh. Oh my god. Wow. That was something else. That was quite the game. The Juggernaut always gets me by surprise on turn 6. This deck, the one I call the Kingpin, was one that played on the idea that people were just terrified of Galactus. They were expecting Galactus all the time, and the result of that was I was able to take advantage of it with a deck that honestly hit them where they weren't expecting it. It had so many different win conditions. The idea behind this deck, which had a really strong win rate, was that you could play Shuri into Nimrod into Destroyer and win with that. You could play Shuri into Hobgoblin and then play Destroyer and win with that. You could also play Shuri into Nimrod, and if you have Kingpin on turn 3, you can actually Ghost Spider the Nimrod into the Kingpin, blow it up, and then also drop a Venom on the other lane, and then reproc the Nimrods again, and there's just Nimrods everywhere. It's an insane combo. You even have the Heimdall as a surprise play, but most importantly, if you have Nimrod on turn 5 and you have Kingpin on the board on turn 3, you're able to Heimdall the Nimrod into the Kingpin and blow it up all over the place. So there was so many different variations to winning this deck. Like every turn 6, I was like, I can win like 4 different ways here. And I loved it. I loved it. I really liked this deck here. It was a little draw centric. Like I kind of needed the pieces in place. So you had to kind of pick up on like the retreat mechanics of it. Cause like, you know, but there were games literally I won with 1 card on my side. Like I basically Shuri a Hobgoblin as a -16. They give that lane and then I just drop a Destroyer and win, right? So it was really fascinating how good this deck did, as you'll see in this gameplay highlight. Okay, we got Nova. We got Fist Tower, which is actually kind of interesting because now that means we don't need to play Kingpin at all. A little fascinating. A little fascinating. So in our game where we're trying to play the Kingpin combo... Oh, God. Oh, God. So we were blessed in one circumstance, cursed in another. You already hit infinite? Damn. Everything's broken. Well... So it's Fist Tower. I can play Kingpin here. And this will naturally mess up their desire to move cards. So Fist Tower and Kingpin, wild. Just wild. I gotta play this here because I don't want them to move this Hobgoblin. I just snapped, and they're like trying to figure out, like, hey, do I even have a play here? Okay. Start moving cards now. I respect it. It's a damn shame that Sokovia got rid of our Nimrod combo, to be honest with you. All right. Got some interesting gameplay going here. I think we just destroy her here. This should just win. Yeah. Yeah. Still figuring the deck out. But you can see how it kind of ruins the game plan for a move deck. Naturally, having Fist Tower was rough too, but what can I say? Jane Jaw continues to be an absolutely insane deck in the meta. It's surprisingly reliable. The High Evolutionary, as long as it doesn't get nerfed, which it probably will be eventually, but High Evolutionary represents a massive, massive power source for basically all these cards, specifically Wasp here. Like, you have Lockjaw, you cycle in the Wasp, you hit the -2 on the opposing side, you bring it back with Lady Foster, and then you do it again. So, you know, the Wasp is basically a 0/5 while also cycling value for your Lockjaw. It's insane what this deck does. Obviously, Lockjaw Jubilee is a wild combination as well. There's just like no bad hits here. Like, you literally just continuously hit nothing but gold with this deck. If you play the Jane Foster and you have Mjolnir out there, obviously it comes back in your hand. Mjolnir can be played into the Lockjaw. You can play a Wasp for free as well, getting that 3 value. It is insane what this deck does. It's surprisingly reliable, as you'll see in this gameplay highlight. I really like in this deck how you can like skip turns, and it feels horrible to some extent, but like you're like, oh well, this ain't that bad. Well, it really isn't that bad because look at us. We got Lockjaw, we got Wasp, we have Jubilee next turn. Like, we got answers. We got answers for Professor X over here. So we're definitely playing over here. We're definitely doing this. I think we can snap here. We got great cards. Like, what do we hit that's bad? High Evolutionary? Really, what do we hit that's bad? We hit High Evolutionary and we cry. We don't even have to Jubilee into Lockjaw if we don't have to. You know? It's wave. Okay. I don't mind that. It's Chavez. Gotta love Chavez. Let's do this. I don't love this. Just don't hit Wasp. Okay. Seems like some drunk gameplay, honestly. Seems like some very, very drunk gameplay. We hit big cards. Mjolnir's not out yet, though. Professor X, I wonder what they want to play. Let's go. Jubilee mid. Hits the Odin. Let's go. Double Jubilee. Bring out Jane Foster. High Evolutionary, whatever. It's out of the way. Wasp. We're putting up power here, folks. Lady Jane. And they've committed Jubilee. Professor X chose Jubilee. Gets the claw on the right side. Oh, by golly. I could actually pull the Mjolnir here, by the way. Lol. Bruh. Seriously? Come on. Come on. What the hell was that? This game is now losable for me? I can lose this video game? Well, not really. The claw, I love this claw, by the way. You know what? That was never going to do it. That was never going to do it. Professor X has been sipping the grape juice, I got to tell you. I spent a lot of time this season experimenting with Ghost Spider because I actually think it was a really good card. And sometimes I kind of forced it into decks, and at first I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of forcing it here. Like, it doesn't need to be here. But I was often surprised at how good it actually was. And a good example of this was Ghost Stature, the stats Stature list with Black Bolt and Stature with Ghost Spider. And you're thinking, Alex, I don't really even see a core synergy here. There's no other real move cards, so to speak. Well, you got the Morales, and of course, Morales can become a 1-cost when you move something with Ghost Spider, which is nice. So you have your Nightcrawler, which I thought was super reliable. You don't need Jeff. You don't need Jeff here. I just included Jeff because, like, that's what I like to play. So I got tons of move parts here. Obviously, Polaris isn't even required here because, like, it's all these things, what, for a 1/5 Morales? Like, you really don't need to do that much for it. But what I will tell you is I found myself often playing Black Bolt on 5, realizing I didn't want Black Bolt into that location, and then Ghost Spidering the Black Bolt on turn 6 and throwing that 7 power into another location, and my opponent was just like, what happened? Because on turn 5, you move your Nightcrawler or your Jeff. This becomes a 1-cost. You discard something, so this is a 1-cost. You basically have this as a 2-cost, and you still have like 2 mana left. Like, it's you're playing 3 cards down. You're moving Black Bolt, shifting 7 power, and like your opponent is not really prepared to deal with that. So I was really surprised with how good Ghost Stature was, and I really do think Ghost Spider is a really good card, and I think it's only gonna get better over time. And in this gameplay highlight, you'll see me piling this deck to some success. Yeah, the lack of synergy sometimes between Korg, Rock Slide, and Black Bolt can be a little frustrating. It's one of the things in this deck that's kind of annoying. You'd rather hit something a little more valuable. We hold here. We hold. Hold the fort. Okay. I think I can do this, pull something over. Oh my god. What are the chances? What are the chances? The 100 bits come down as we get completely owned here by this Deathlock. Who the hell's playing Angel, by the way? What is happening here? We have an Angel gamer. We actually have an Angel gamer, which is kind of crazy. You don't see that every day. It's wave. Turn 5 wave, okay. They're snapping on us here. I think we stay in the game. We have to move him over. The problem is, if you play something like a Killmonger, I won't Black Bolt to death. Why would he Killmonger now? He plays death now. Okay. So we have Shang-Chi. Death dies. Morales. We Korg. Let's hope that this is enough to gap. Does he play an additional card right is the question. He's winning by 14. I don't think he does. Yeah, it's a straightforward win. Good job. Very straightforward win. Okay, good. You love to see it. When push comes to shove and it's time to get to infinite, I turn to one thing. It's one of my favorite archetypes in Marvel Snap, and that is Discard. Discard continues to be one of the most reliable decks in Marvel Snap. I don't care what anyone says. You can take this to Conquest. You can take this to Infinite. You can take this to a tournament. It's going to perform. It is such a good list. It's so consistent. I absolutely love it. I'm so almost sick of talking about Discard. Like, I feel like I've been talking about Discard for months, and people are still sleeping on it. This is one of the best decks in Marvel Snap, period. Honestly, it is by far one of the best decks in Marvel Snap. And the fact that I'm able to close out Infinite almost every single season with it, from like 95 to 100, is just a showcase to how good this deck is. Like, I do it with a remarkable win percentage too. I love discard, and you're gonna see in this highlight, it's the one that took me to Infinite. This is the Infinite game, the one where we clicked over to 100, so it's really hype, lots of music, lots of fun. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy this gameplay highlight. We Nebula here, because hopefully they're encouraged to play Storm into this location. Come on, let's get some draws here. Let's get some draws. Storm is good. Storm's good. Storm is good. We Storm Mindscape. We want to hold on to our cards. Turn 6 is too important for us. They skip. This is borderline snappable. Gamma Lab. Damn it. Gamma Lab's too good. We can't play with Mindscape. They don't play Gamma Lab? Seriously? No Gamma Lab play? They go with the Mr. Fantastic mid over playing Gamma Lab. Kind of wild and not what I expected. They're short here. I think we play Dracula into the Gamma Lab. We snap. Even if we don't pull our Apocalypse, we do have MODOK into Swarms Chavez. But unfortunately, of course, it's Namor. Oh my god. Namor. They can still... Okay, we have the Apox. This is huge. This is insane now. So this might be it. We might find a way to lose. But we should be hitting it. It's MODOK mid. It's Claw. I respect it. I respect the Claw play. They're going 8. Why 8?